What's up, guys? It's me, it's that ERIC. I am the People's Co-host, Eric Barnes. This is the Late Debate with the crew. So I have joining me, the extreme icon, Mike Nagel.
Yes!
And Mr. Entertainment himself, Noah Donish.
It literally is late, hence the term Late Debate. I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy with this new show that's exclusively on youtube.com/EBar says and on it'sebar.com. I'm really happy that Eric's YouTube channel is taking off and Mike is starting his own channel. This is awesome. I'm ready for it. Let's do this shit.
It's good stuff. So basically, to explain, we're just going to take old wrestling topics, hence the late. We're very late to it. And basically talk about it, look at it from all different sides, maybe not argue, but maybe argue, because it's us. So anyway, today we were going to talk about a topic suggested by Mr. Nagel himself, and it's the formation of the nWo, and why good old Hulk Hogan was chosen to lead instead of the franchise of WCW, Sting. So, like,
who wants to start this debate?
It's showtime, folks. Mike, you, full disclosure, we recorded this earlier, same as the scoop, so we're going to try to keep it fresh. Anyway, Mike, you had started the show last time by talking about what would have made it cool if Sting had led the nWo. So if you can remember anything, let's talk about that again.
Okay, so back in the day before the Monday Night Wars, here, let me fix my camera. Did you fart or something?
No, my shirt says back in the day.
Oh. Okay, so back in the day before the Monday Night Wars, guys were jumping promotions, like, not like the territory days, but, it was like people would go to WCW, then go to WWE, and then, there wasn't anybody who just stayed in WCW except for Sting. Luger, Steiners, Flair.
Yeah, even Flair.
Anderson and Tully Blanchard, Wyndham, everybody, Macho Man, everybody was in WWE or WCW or back and forth. Sting was the only person who held out and stayed with NWA and WCW up until WCW went out of business. What better way to take the company down with two outsiders than the one franchise player who always stuck with the company?
Right. Yeah, that would have had a very devastating impact to WCW just because that was their boy. That was who everybody trusted in, Sting. They always knew they could rely on Sting. So for him to have turned, that would have been pretty crazy. It would have been epic, I think. What do you think about the possibility of Sting running the nWo, Noah?
So my thoughts on it were, it would be epic, but if you think about the wrestling business holistically, and I don't necessarily think that they were this smart and this insightful in WCW when they made the decision. This is just how I would look at it with my intellectual prowess, is you take a guy like Sting. Sting and WCW went together, and WCW/NWA, let's be clear here, went together like peanut butter and jelly. Sting was WCW, Sting was the NWA, just as Ric Flair was WCW and NWA. So you take Sting and you put him in the NWO as the leader, and you basically have Sting pissing on World Championship Wrestling and the nWo. Now, let's take a look at the Immortal Hulk Hogan for a second. The Immortal Hulk Hogan not only was the face of WWF, but also became the face of WCW. You take him and turn him heel as the head of the nWo. You're not pissing on WCW and the NWA. You're not pissing on the World Wrestling Federation. You're pissing on the entire wrestling business. You're shaking the foundation of the wrestling business to its core.
Did you just turn into Ultimate Warrior for a second?
I got my Snuggie to tuck me in.
So, And yeah, it's been mentioned that Hogan has turned heel before. That's nothing different.
Well, that was years and years, and that's something we talked about too. That was so long before he
That was like the 70s.
Before it was mainstream, before, I mean, yeah, he was Thunder Lips before his big run in Hulkamania, and yeah, that was mainstream, but still, he wasn't a household synonymous name until after he beat the Iron Sheik.
Yeah. It wasn't the WrestleMania era whenever he was originally fucking heels. So nobody remembered that. So I mean, it was other than somebody like Sting, that was the biggest name, probably bigger than Sting, that could turn heel at that point. But Hulk Hogan needed to turn heel.
Exactly.
Sting was still extremely over at the time. Hulk Hogan's popularity was waning.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was really weird because even his last few years with WWE, he was getting booed and the reactions were getting bad because, I mean, how long... I mean, it was like the John Cena reaction before John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then when he signed with WCW, had a big parade, and then same shit, getting booed in his first big match with Ric Flair. So...
Well, you got to think, I mean, you know, basically to the wrestling fans, this was, you know, WWF's top guy coming and trying to take out their top guy.
Right.
So it almost made more sense for Hulk Hogan to be a heel, even though he was a merchandising cow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Hulk Hogan was an everything cow. He was a creative control cow. He was a salary cow. He was a merchandise cow. He was just a cow. Let's be honest here.
Well, if he was a merchandising cow, how come he doesn't have his very own Snuggie? Okay.
I am surprised that he doesn't. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Another thing that we had mentioned. Okay, so say Sting did take over the NWO. Hulk Hogan, with all of his creative control, with his huge contract, if he was the face against the heel NWO, the NWO would not have lasted. They would have been destroyed almost immediately as soon as they faced Hogan.
Lasted maybe one or two pay-per-views because we saw how well everything lasted with the New Blood against Hogan.
And you'd still have same old Hogan, stale ass, same old character.
Yes.
Yeah, so everybody would still be tired of Hogan, and something as awesome of a concept as NWO wouldn't have been able to take off, even with Sting, even with the biggest WCW name that they had back then.
Precisely.
Yeah, because I don't think Hogan would be too comfortable being in the rafters and then doing the zip line down.
Yeah, I don't think Hogan would have done the whole crow thing. You
like
know,
50, you know.
His bald ass head would have not have played into that gimmick very well.
With Santa with muscles taking out the NWO.
That's awesome.
Pastamania.
Pastamania.
That's a good one.
There you go. That's true. True story. But yeah, I think the consensus is everything happened for a reason. Eventually, we did see Sting in the Wolf Pack, but we all know how that ended.
Yeah, that so much wasn't really even a heel turn because at that point, at worst, the Wolf Pack were tweeners.
Yeah.
Actually, I think if you really look at it from a purist point of view, NWO Wolfpack was like the most over faces in the company at the time.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. You know, between
they were the coolest. I mean, they're rocking out to FUBU and hip hop music on the way to the ring. I mean,
that was a good entrance theme.
That's great.
That really was a good entrance theme.
Yep.
But yeah, so basically, they went with Hogan. That was probably the right choice. But if done correctly, Sting, as the leader of NWO, could have been a very interesting concept, basically.
I mean, the thing that I thought they missed the boat on would have been a heel Sting against a babyface Ric Flair.
Ooh.
That could have been very interesting if Sting was able to pull it off. I'm not really familiar with a heel version of Sting, so...
They tried to do it.
What about Main Event Mafia?
No, I mean, they tried to do it in WCW, and it just fell completely flat, and they turned him right back. And
well, see, I think that's the difference. Nobody wanted to boo Sting. Everybody was ready to boo Hogan anyway.
Well, I mean, I think if you think about it, though, what if like a Sting-led NWO went against a babyface Four Horsemen, and Sting finally was doing the underhanded shit that Ric Flair had been doing to him his whole career, and fucking not needing to worry about a black scorpion, just fucking going out and beating the shit out of Ric Flair.
That
would have been awesome.
So much potential, but I guess we'll never know.
True, very true. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it. Like I said, this is a short form show. We're only going to talk about one topic per episode. So I want to thank you guys, Noah and Mike.
Yeah, what a success this was. I love it.
For doing this along with me. So basically, do you have any plugs, Noah?
All right, you all know who I am, but be sure to check out, if you haven't watched it already, The Scoop, episode number 104, is on demand right now on youtube.com/NoahMania. And also tomorrow night, right around the time that the Lesnar fight is on, I'm going to go live with a very special Noah Adonis show on Noah Mania. I'm going to be joined by Mike Nagel. We're going to have all the UFC coverage. We're going to give our thoughts on the entire show from top to bottom. We'll take your phone calls. It'll be fun. So check it out. Eric won't be there because he's going to be at a concert, but it is what it is. So that's it. Follow me on Twitter at Noah Adonis. Like my official Facebook fan page, facebook.com/official Noah Mania. Your turn, Mike.
FTW Nage on the YouTube, and at Ultimo Nagel on the Twitter.
And Mike will actually be having videos posted on his YouTube coming up soon.
Yes, because finally I have an intro that is complete.
Finally.
Your turn, Eric.
All right. So, yeah, you're probably on my channel already, but it's youtube.com/ebarsays. Follow me on Twitter at ebarsays. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Why you gotta copy me?
That is what he did last time.